Mic check. Mic check. All right, we good. Back like we never left, huh? Shahara was here first today. All right. All right. Switching it up. Adele says she in and out. So she must be out now. I see Jay Carly. See Ali. See Ernest. See Walker. Stacy. All right, cool. I got an eyelash in my eye, yo. I hate those. Then it should be moving. It'd be up here first, it'll move down. I'm gonna get his ass. I'm gonna get his ass. Stupid ass eyelash. All right, John is in the building also. All right, let me get myself together real quick. Let me get this out there so we can get rolling. John, I saw your message from earlier, even though I didn't respond there, but I did see it. Either I'm bugging out or this thing is slow as shit. Damn. All right. I have to set this timer right now while I have the chance to. What the hell is that? I don't know who that is. 601. I don't know who that is. I'll be picking up strange numbers. Sometimes when people text me, they just start talking, like going into whatever they are doing or want, whatever they want. They go right into it. It would be nice if I knew who you were. I'll just say that. They're telling me all of this shit, and I don't even know who the person is. I have no idea who they are. They know who I am, but they'll have yet to introduce themselves. But that's just how people are. See, like, it's interesting just the way that things are, because it just bugs you out. It's like why? Things that make you say, It's like it's so much of it. People just always be doing funny shit. And it's not like they mean anything by it, I guess if you have something on your mind that you want to talk about, or you're trying to get information, you just want the information and you just bypass that part. But I always feel that should be a part of what you're doing. That's like me walking in your house, be like, walking into your place of operation, and I'm telling you all the stuff I want, and you're like, okay, all of that's great, but who are you? And they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Slim Shady. All right, so I got all of that done. What else was I about to do? I think that was it for now. Let's see who's here. 301 Rich is here. Stargell is here. David O is here. All right. Ramon is here. Yeah, I guess that's what it is, Ernest. I guess that's what it is. Greg Harris, what's happening? Look like we got 20 people watching. 12 likes now. 21 people watching, 12 likes, so we're missing 8 likes. Yeah, we're missing 8 likes. JT, what's good? For the 8 of you that have yet to like the video, please do so. He said, I wish Jehovah's Witnesses would do that. Get to the point so I could chase them real quick. That's funny. I haven't had a Jehovah's Witness experience in a long time. When I see them now, they be on the street. They be on the street and they have like a magazine rack. It's like a whole stand that's set up with their books and stuff in it. and it's a mobile rack, like they be wheeling it, like it's on wheels. Yeah, curbside profits. There you go. Yep. I remember back in the day, they used to argue with you. They used to want to like debate. They used to love to do that. But like I said, I haven't had experiences recently, so I can't say that they still do it. But back in the day, they used to be trying to get at you. Greg said, what if we don't like it, and how will we know till it's over? JT says, personal observation, my timing is off in the market because of my schedule. However, that hasn't stopped me from executing the framework. I accept this. Me and the market will sync up soon. Yes. Yes. And it's worth the wait, regardless of how long the wait is, because what will happen is your productivity in the market will be spread out over time. And time is a funny thing because it goes fast. It goes so much faster than you think that it does. Like time be flying. You thinking that it ain't. Time is flying. Look, it's already January 8th of the next year. Like New Year's was like yesterday. Like literally. Don't New Year's feel like it was like the other day? That was over a week ago. That quick. New year, new decade. Yep. Yeah, so time management is important. Like I'm bugging out because I'm like I started Project 21, it's over already. Like it's done, it's finished. Mind you, doing one a week, it's over. Be like, yo. If you don't know, now you know. Ernest, one day I opened my door naked when these Jehovah's Witnesses knock. Witness that and spread the word. Yo, Ernest is a nut. Oh gosh. He be at the door naked eating the burger. Let me see. Well, my timer is working. I just heard it, so that's good. Jazz, I've traded Forex scalping for years and want to move it to NADEX into a more slower pace. Is it possible to go from fast pace to a slow pace? What are the effective ways to change that habit from fast reaction to not doing anything until it's time, because I'm prone to be active in the markets? Well, the training that I offer and the way that we trade and the way that we anticipate the market is much slower. So I would say that what we do specifically would probably make a hell of a lot of sense. What the hell? Yo, squirrels will violate your car. Squirrel just straight threw a branch at the car. He was like, yo, I don't like you sitting right there. This is my hood. Squirrels are stupid. They be running back and forth on the damn, not even on the telephone wires, on the electric wires. I'm like, y'all don't know that that's live, huh? One time I saw a squirrel get caught on one of them electric wires on the power line. By the time first of all, whatever he did popped a transformer, and it was a big, humongous ball of smoke. Looked like a bomb went off. Boom! It was a huge boom and smoke. And we like, yo, what the hell was that? So I'm looking around, I'm looking up. I'm like, all right, look like the transformer's on fire. I look down on the ground, the squirrel is on the ground. The squirrel is on the ground. The squirrel was pitch black. And it wasn't a black squirrel, because he was gray, because I saw when he was running up on the line. He was a gray squirrel, but when he landed on the ground, he was pitch black, and all of his hair was off. Like, he looked like a rat. But I'm like, that's not a rat. I'm looking and looking, and the tail wasn't as long as like what a rat tail would be. His tail was shorter. All of his hair was singed off, and his whole body was like electrified, like he was burnt. Yo, I've never seen nothing like that since. I've never seen anything like that ever before, and I've never seen anything like that after. That shit was crazy. That was crazy. I know that's a little off the topic, but I started talking about the squirrel because he throwing sticks off the damn power line. Shahara said, Ramon, you can open the doors. Joey, what's good? Yeah, fried squirrel out in the open. Yo, he was pitch black. Jazz said didn't know there were squirrels in New York City. What? I think we got more squirrels than anywhere. You kidding me? It gotta be millions of squirrels in New York City. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. They're everywhere. They don't just stay in the park either. They be on the street. They run the streets. He said, sure they not rats? Nah, there's a big difference between a rat and a squirrel, man. A squirrel is ratish. It's in the rat family. Like, it's in the, whatever that's called. It's in that family, but it's more acceptable than a rat. Rats move different. Like, they wobble when they walk. When they real big and heavy, they be wobbling. And they like to stay low to the ground, like they creeping. Squirrels don't move like that. Squirrels be like pop locking. They be like, squirrels be pop locking. One time I saw a pigeon and a rat fighting. The rat won. Them pigeons ain't have a chance. So you realize y'all talk about squirrel, right? They don't do technology. Oh man. That's funny. Shahara says, side note, I sometimes find myself randomly singing Mr. Sandman because of Mark singing it in 302. Oh gosh. I'm sure it's just random music and just throughout different trainings and live streams. It's crazy. I kind of remember that too. Because I was like, right? Oh man, I don't know where it comes from. Pigeons are rats with wings. I don't disagree. Walker said rats are just proud Section 8 squirrels. Rats is, they like, we live in that EBT life, man. Let's go. Jazz, how did you change from being a very active trader, taking many trades per day, to now taking trades once a week? It was very easy to do once I realized that you could just simply scale up the size of your trades to make up for what you lack in volume. With skill comes confidence, and with confidence comes fearlessness. So when you think about it, it's like, if you know that you can scale up the size of your contracts, specifically on the platform that you're using, then if you're confident enough, you'll do that instead of worrying about trying to take more trades to make the money that you're looking to make. So once I realized that, like, at first I didn't think that way. Eventually I started to think that way because I didn't like the feeling of having to be on the charts in order to make money. Like, it's different when you're trading, full time for a living. The way that you're doing things, your structure within your trading, the way that your plan is set up, the way that your trading plan is set up, and the way that your financial plan is set up, you are either going to be doing more or less active trading, right? The more active that you are, the more stressful you're going to be. And what I realized was I didn't want to be stressful. I didn't want to be stressed. I didn't want more stress. I wanted less stress. So I kept doing things and finagling everything until I got to a place that I felt I could be at and be comfortable and be stress-free. That was my thing. I'm like, one, I value my time. I don't want to have to be on the charts. Two, I value my peace. I don't want to be stressed out. So this is how my thought process began to change. And this is what manifested me slowing everything down and thinking with the perspective that I just presented to you, which is increasing the contract size instead of taking more trades. So ultimately taking less trades, bigger contracts, and kind of just not worrying about money, not worrying about, oh man, I got to get a trade. I didn't get a trade yet. I didn't want to have to do that. So that was what made the transition for me. I did that first. You got to, you have to determine what do you value the most. For some people, they like trading a lot. I don't. I used to do it because I was capable of doing it. But when I realized I didn't have to do that, I'm like, shit, I ain't taking all of them trades like that no more. I don't want to have to take 3-4 trades a day just to make the money that I'm looking to make. I don't want to do that. So it was an easy decision once I figured it out and determined what I could do, in the interim. So that was an easy decision to make, and that's what my thought process was. So hopefully that was helpful, Jazz. Greg, Mark, do you think you could do a video where you name that candle just to help with speed, move, hold, doing this on the chart as the candles show up, or relation to MRMH and pulling the trigger or not? You talking about in training? I could do that, but I mean, the idea is to not rely on the chart. But if you feel that that's something that would help you visually, I would do that because you feel like it would help you. If you feel like it would help you, I would do it. Jazz says, so you were doing single contracts when you were active. What you mean single contracts? You talking about the size? I'm not sure what you mean by single contracts. Okay. Yeah. Got you. So, no, I think that when I first, well, all right. I'm just gonna give you. I'm gonna go back a little to give you context for how I even started on NADEX, like in the first place. When I started on NADEX, I started with $100. I was always starting with $100. Every time I did anything, I started with $100. Every time. So when you starting at 100, you start with one contract, and then you working your way up to wherever you're trying to get to. So at the time, when I was taking about like, anywhere from 2 to 3 trades a day, I was like at the 18 to 25 contract level, like somewhere in there. And it had me in position like where if I took 3 trades a day, I would make anywhere from like, $600 to $1,000 a day. So eventually what I started doing was just slowly scaling up the size and then taking fewer trades. So if you look back like to videos and then you keep watching, you see me do that. You see like how I shifted. I went from taking 4 trades a day to 3 to 2, then eventually from 2 to 1. Then I did the 1 a day challenge. Like the 1 a day challenge was probably the longest challenge that I did because it was like hundreds of days. I think it was 200 some days in that challenge because it was 1 trade a day. And over time, as I realized like what was going on, I'm like, I think we doing too much trading. I'm like, I think we trading too much. So let me actually figure out how to basically only put yourself in position to take the best opportunities that come, however many that is. And when I did that and I started realizing, I'm like, all right, you do this, you still end up with anywhere from 2 to 5 trades in a week. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of ill right there. So all right, come on, YouTube, stop backing up. But anyway, so that's what allowed me to shift. And when I shifted, that's when I began to realize how much I really valued my time more. I'm like, I value my time way more than being on the charts. I don't want to have to be on the charts. And that's when I just started scaling everything back. And over time, you just saw me doing less and less. Went from 1 a day to, maybe 1 every other day. Went from that, just finished a project where it was 1 a week. Just to show you the value and the power of being consistent, not necessarily taking a large number of trades and being active in the market all the time. The more that you expose yourself to the market, the more you increase the chances of you losing the trade. That's just simple mathematics. The more that you're exposing yourself to the market, the more that you make yourself vulnerable to what the market is capable of doing. Like, period. So with that being the case, you ultimately do want to take fewer trades. And if you're going to take fewer trades, why not take the best ones that come? That was my thinking. And that's what still is my thinking. And that's what has us where we are now on Team Alliance. because that's the framework for everything that we do. That's how we move now. We're going to take the best trades and we're going to win them. And we're going to just be consistent. That's it. Right. Right. Exactly, John. Exactly. What's happening, Fong? So Jazz said, but you still have to be on the charts, especially when the market is slow, and that's very rare times. It can be any time. You don't have to be on the charts. You get on the charts when you want to. Like I'm not on the charts just because. I'm on the charts because I have the time to be on them, and I feel like being on the charts. Like I don't come on the charts because I'm like, oh, I got to get a trade off. Like that's not my thought process at all. By the time I come on the charts, I just want to observe what's going on and see what's happening in the market. Sometimes the market is positioning itself. A lot of times it's not. Regardless of what's going on, I know what the market's doing at the time. That's the key. The key is knowing what the market's doing at the time. If it lines up with what you wait for, cool. If it don't, that's cool too. Because you have to remember that every time that you don't take trades, those are bigger wins than the trades that you do take. Because you're not losing. There's nothing worse than losing because you felt the need to be in the market. It's not worse than that. That's one of the worst things that you could do, period. John said, that's my plan, 100% scale, very few trades. Exactly. Ernest said, you're not supposed to be in the market every minute of the day. Get in and get out, go play golf. Exactly. Exactly. You got to set your time appropriately so that you're not stressed. Ramon said, Jazz, he means that you don't have to waste hours of your life in the charts day after day. He can just decide one day of the week to get on the charts, place a trade, and not worry about placing another one that same day or that same week. Exactly. Living life at your pace. Facts. What's happening, George? Market is the market, like it is on every day. Ernest said, all day in the charts is the same as a full-time job. The shit we're getting away from by trading. Exactly. Right. See, that right there is key for me. You're not here to become a slave again. You're here to be set free. So being a slave to the charts is just as bad as being a slave to a job. We're not trying to be a slave to nothing. We're trying to be free. And that's why it makes sense to do things like a Project 21, where you can take your time during the growth phase, execute your skill consistently over time. In other words, you're just always executing your skill, always waiting for the market to dictate when the opportunities come. That's what you always do. Like, you don't ever do anything different than that. And when you do that, what happens is when the market is ready to give it up to you, it does. If it ain't ready to give it up to you, you know that it's not, and you keep your money in your account and do nothing. And that becomes a part of your daily discipline and patience, which are part of your mindset. That's why the mindset is more important than your trade plan. Your trade plan is just there to execute as a result of the way that your mindset is set. You can't execute a trade plan with the wrong mindset anyway, so you'll lose, even with a good trade plan. Jazz said, Ramon, but you never know if the market will give you a trade on that day. No, you don't know when the market's going to give you a trade. That's the whole purpose of what I'm saying. You don't know, but you still allow the market to dictate when it is. And you submit to the market, period. Oh, Ben, you on Main Street? All right. Stay in White Plains. Rich said, if you don't have to, why would you? I agree. Fong said, thank you, Mark, for telling me that. All right, I'm not sure what I said, but you're welcome. Walker said, trading a bunch of times a day is just a whole new job. It is. It is, man. Ramon Jazz, Mark has a very elevated skill, which he takes trades beyond our skill level, and thus his probability of getting the trade the same day is higher and more likely to happen. And what's funny is that I voluntarily won't do it. I voluntarily take fewer trades. Just because I would rather have my time spent doing other things that's not trading, that are more enjoyable. To me, that's more, it's time more well spent. I can make twice as much as I make if I just was on the charts probably 2 extra days a week. I could literally double my income. But I don't want to do it that way, because I know that I can also double my income by doubling my contracts, which I did. I've actually done that, which means I'm doing the same amount of work. So instead of me adding on 2 extra days, I can just increase my contract size. That's a wonderful thing. Come on, man. And see, when I talk about all of these things that I do, you guys see the blueprint for what you're going to be able to do yourself. But the key to it is development. You have to grow and to develop into the trader that you're going to become. And you have to create the right habits, because whatever habits that you create in your training process is going to be the habits that you have. And that's what you're going to execute regardless of what you want to do. You're going to execute what you've been trained to do. So that's why it's important for you to get the right training and be doing the right stuff. Greg said, I think it would, but not just me, maybe others too. Oh, you talking about the candles? All right. Well, what I'll do, Greg, you gonna be on training tonight? If you're gonna be there tonight, I'll bring it up, and I'll just ask. And matter of fact, remind me. If you remind me, then I'll just ask everybody that's there if they think that would be helpful, and then I'll do it. Osman in the building. What's happening, bro? Remember the bench? Oh, y'all don't know nothing about the bench. Oh, shit. You don't know about the bench. I forgot about the bench. Oh, snap. Yeah, too much trading, like dancing in the minefield. Exactly. Jazz said, the more trades, the more likely you can get a loss, so it makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you know that it makes sense. Taking the best requires immense understanding of the market and patience, which from an active trader is a big change. If you're an active trader, though, there's a level of patience that you gotta have anyway. It's just increasing that level of patience. But from the sound of it, I don't think you have that much patience. Because just from what you said it's a big change. So I think your patience level just is not there yet. But that's okay, because that's what training does. Chris, what up? Ernest said you can be in the market and not take trades. It's called training. Exactly. Ramon said keywords patience and skill. Greg said all the info you can derive from the phone app and no chart. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ramon said he used to do both scalping and letting trades do their thing, but you still need skill and patience to do both things successfully. No matter what you do, you need patience. That's why when people be having strategies and methods, they still be losing, because they don't have patience. And you be like, damn, well, why you losing so much? You ain't got no patience. So, it boils down to the fact that you don't have enough patience to wait for the market, one. And then you don't have enough patience to allow the market to ultimately bring you the trade that you are waiting for. So you try to force your way into the market. That's one of the worst things that you could possibly do, period. People will do that shit over and over again. It's crazy. It's crazy what people will keep doing. That shit bugs me out every time. I'm like, yo, you don't realize that shit ain't working? And you're not doing no self-reflection to figure out that it's you doing it. It's not the market, it's you. But that's what it is, man. Fawn said the worst feeling is having a responsibility for trading each day. Indeed. It's really bad to lose 5 in a day. Yeah, that's revenge trading. Jazz asked Ramon, are you following TA's training strictly or take trades based on your previous experience? I know the answer to that one, bro. But I'm sure he wrote it. I'll get to that. Jay Carly, get a trade now. Let me log in and observe what the market is doing. Fong said, I'm glad I found Mark Fuller. The way he said it is the best way to teach everyone in here. It's because it's true, man. Ramon said, following Mark's teaching strictly, since he teaches you the way to level up your skills so that you don't take losing trades ever again. That's straight from the horse's mouth right there for you, Jazz. Rich said, when the skill is yours, that journey you went on, obtaining it builds a certain passion and love. That's not a negative to be on the charts, as by then you live in your dream. Right. Very well said. Joey said, what made you start subconsciously training? That's a good question. I'm trying to think of the first time that I told everybody to do that. I can't pinpoint the exact time, but it was I think it might have been last year, but early in the year or late in the year before last. So this was either late 2018 or early 2019. Or it might have been 2018. I don't know exactly when, actually, to be honest with you. But I do know what triggered it. What triggered it is I used to always have the earbuds on. And like walking around in the house, everywhere I'm at, I got earbuds in my ear. And before I had the earbuds, I had big ass headphones, like the big noise, what do you call them? Noise reduction, like the ones studio shits, the big ones, like where you can't hear anything. So I used to be walking around with the big headphones first, and Lulu used to hate that. Like she used to be really like creating friction in the house because I had the headphones on. So I was like, all right. I was like, well, so I'm not gonna stop training. So I got to do something, and that's when I got the earbuds. And as a matter of fact, I think, you know what? Stacy remembers, because Stacy, I had announced it in the group. This is when bro, why are you so close? Why y'all gotta get mad close when it's mad room in front of you though? Anyway, Stacy remembers because that's when I told everybody about the Raycons. Those were the first earbuds that I got. The Raycons sound good, like in your ear. They like you hear the bass and everything. So I had got the Raycons, and that's when I, like, one day I fell asleep with the earbuds in my ear, and when I woke up, the training was still playing in my ear, and I was like, and it was just like a feeling, and the feeling that I had, it just felt like I was literally like walking on clouds, because I was just so full of skill knowledge. I just felt like I just had more like knowledge. And this was the first time I fell asleep with the headphones on, with the earbuds in, excuse me. I'll never forget, because it was playing when I went to sleep, and it was playing when I woke up. And I was like, yo, I want to do that again. So I just started going to bed with the earbuds in. And, you know, just doing little stuff like to trick her. She thinking that I don't have them in. I have one in. I put it in this ear, and then I lay down on the pillow. And I won't have the other one in this ear, so I can act like I'm listening to her. So just little shit like that. But that's when I realized the reason that I felt so good was because it was hitting the subconscious level with immense, intense, just direct hitting, bow, bow, bow. And it's like when you're getting something subconsciously, it becomes a part of you. And eventually, because you're doing that, it's beginning to suffocate all of the stuff that you don't need. So it's like little stuff that you might do. You know, I know that everybody kind of feels that the butterfly in your stomach when you're about to take a trade. Eventually, you don't feel that no more. Like something is there, but it's not that. It's not fear that's there when you're taking the trade. It's just confidence. Like just as easy as you take your next breath, you know that when you take that trade, you're gonna win it. I can't even describe it better than that. That's what it feels like. It just feels like I'm about to breathe. When you take a breath, you don't feel no kind of way. You just breathe in, out. That's what it becomes like when you trade. You don't even think about it. Like literally, there's no thought of fear. Oh man, I hope that this one wins. There's none of that. It's just straight confidence that comes through subconscious training. It works. It works. Somebody on training said that they slept with the trainer the first night. Matter of fact, I think it was Marion. Marion said that she did that the first night. She joined, what's today, Wednesday? I think she joined Monday. So she must have did it Monday night. She said she went to sleep with the training plan. When I tested her the first day, she knew stuff. Tested her yesterday. She knew stuff yesterday that I kind of feel like you shouldn't know yet because you're brand new. You shouldn't really know that yet, but she did know. She didn't even know that she knew though. But the way that I was actually building up to the solution to the question that I was asking, she came out with it. And I'm like, look at that. Like it's not possible to do that unless you train at that level. So that's why the training is so effective and it works, because we have all of these different ways to do it. It works, man. This shit is crazy. But that was a good question, Joey. I know that was a little long-winded, but yeah, she did it the first night. And you know I love that shit. I love when people tell me that. I love that, because that means that they're not questioning the process. Not to say that everybody else is when they first join, but some people just have a decision already made up in their mind when they start doing something, and they just boom, they're like, I'm gonna do it exactly the way that he says. I don't even know why he's telling me to do that, but I'm gonna do it. That when you do that, like anybody that does that, like that's what Rich did. Rich did that. And when you like look at Rich now, just listen to him. The nuggets, everything, he's full. He's just full of it. He's watched 301 hundreds of times. So we have examples of it. That shit works, man. Jazz said, you so cool and calm when you trading, but impatient with your car. You are correct, the mundo. Nah, but you know what it, cause you know what it is? I don't understand the logic that people have when they drive, and like, that's what I think bothers me the most. Why do you want to get so close to another car when there's all of this room in front of you? I don't understand that. That's not logical to me. I think that's like that. It taps into my OCD. Yeah, that's what it is. It taps into my OCD. But you're right. He said that's when you get a big slap when you don't answer her when she doesn't get a reply from you. That's what would happen to me. Oh, from the wife? Yes. Yep. Either slap or the doghouse. Either way, I ain't cool with either one. I like sleeping in my bed. I ain't try to sleep on no couch or no crash pad. Yeah, she definitely was ready for training last night. Yep. John said he started doing it last night. Never too late to pick up your game. Woo! Let's go. That's how you do it, Ernest. Talk shit when she not here. He said, I bet you Jay Carly ain't do that. Shahar, yeah, right? She said, yeah, watched it. He wrote 301 out verbatim on Christmas Day. Rich is a beast. Yes, he is. Yeah, it's a different level of passion for the craft when you get to a certain point. And the thing about it is that it's just like how the market is. It's like you either get there or you're just not there yet. You know what I mean? And if you're not there yet, that's not a bad thing. Just the fact that you are committing to training, period. You're already doing way more than everybody. The average person don't commit to nothing. Like in all realness, like most people don't commit to shit. They commit to bullshit before they commit to something of value that actually will elevate them. So, George said, how can I start with 100 if I have to deposit 250 to open the account? Yeah, when you open the account initially, just withdraw 150 and leave 100 in there. Right. Yeah, so Fong and John both pointed out the same thing. Yep, you could do it that way. Yep. Oh, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's all the same stuff. Like it's just something that we do over and over again. Rinsing and repeating. Everything is repetitive. And I remember like early when I was training, people used to always tell me, man, is this like, are we going to do this every day? And I used to be like, yes. And they used to be like, man, it's so repetitive. And I used to say, like, it's supposed to be repetitive. And then I would ask them like a simple question. I'll be like, how did you learn your ABCs? How did you learn them? Literally, how did you learn your ABCs? And the same way that you learned your ABCs, and matter of fact, it was simplified even more for you because it was put in a song. You see? You remember melody in your head. And that's how you learned your ABCs. Through the same repetition. Rich said, if you're training with TA, you're on the path. If you stick with it, eventually the path becomes an escalator. Chris, so what's next now that Project 21 is over? Chris, you tell me. You did it. Chris completed Project 21. What are you doing now? There you go. Income phase. That's it. You make your money. You put yourself in the position that you want to be in, and you make your bread, and that's it. It's just rinse and repeat. So the same thing that you were doing during Project 21 to grow your account, you're going to do the same thing to create income now in the income phase. That's it. Jazz said, do you stick to what you teach strictly, or do you trade based on your skill, which has different levels? I do try to stick to the framework exclusively when I'm doing projects. Some of the earlier challenges, trade or die challenge, all or none challenge, I didn't really start trying to stick to the framework exclusively until the Blueprint project. That's when I started doing it. Project 21, I did it the whole project. Every trade that I took in Project 21 was a follow-through trade after the permission slip that we wait for. All of them. So the reason that I like to try to do what everyone is going to be doing is so that you can see what it looks like during the process. Like that was the whole purpose of me doing Project 21. Because initially Project 21 wasn't for me. Initially, it was for the group. What I was gonna do, I was gonna like create like a challenge. And it really wasn't gonna be a challenge. It was more so a project because I started moving away from challenges. After like I don't really like the idea of a challenge because it makes people think that it's like a competition, and it's not. It's not a competition at all. We're collectively all learning the same skill set as a collective group. And skill is not designed to just be stagnant and just stay there. So eventually your skill elevates, you begin to see more things in the market because you're constantly training. This is what happened with me. The reason that I've been able to elevate and my skill level has increased, I've become better and better and better at the process that makes everything work within the framework that I teach you. So within the framework, as I'm teaching you all of the stuff that I'm aware of, all the nuances, all the little subtle things that the market does to give us indication of what it's doing, talking about how it transitions, talking about how it unfolds, like all of that stuff is not the easiest thing to communicate. But the reason that it's easy for me to communicate is because I'm doing it and I'm good at communicating. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy to me that I was able to even develop the permission slip. That's crazy to me because before we had that, you kind of were like not on your own, but you had to develop the ability to feel out the market yourself. Like it's like, here's your tools. Now figure shit out that you feel comfortable with. There was a lot more subjectivity involved. What the permission slip does is it removes that so you don't have to try to figure things out on your own. You see what I'm saying? If you just stick to the framework has all of the skills built into it, meaning it forces you to be patient. It forces you to become disciplined. So for everyone that follows the framework, you build the other skills. When you deviate from the framework, that's when you get fucked up. Simple is the simplest shit ever. But what happens also is that by following the framework, your skill elevates also. You can never stop your skill from elevating. You ain't gonna be able to stop that. It's never gonna stop. Chris said NADEX is a gold mine if you understand market behavior. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Jazz, so you narrowed down to what you teach, and that's why you now stick to that. Yeah, rather than to deviate to doing different trade. Even when if I'm doing something, I'm never deviating from what I teach. There's a difference between me deviating from what I'm teaching you and me bypassing the level of what I'm teaching you. Does that make sense? There's levels to understanding what I'm teaching you. The very basic level is what I'm giving you. That's not the last level though. There's levels to it. There's elevation that goes along with that. You understand? So that's why when people stick to the script, they begin to get little glimpses of what that elevation looks like. Next thing you know, their execution is flawless. And it's like, damn, they did that already? That's what happens. Shawnee said, deviate and you will lose. Plain and simple. This is the cheat code. Follow it. Jazz talking about, can you give an example of an elevation? Jazz, get the basics, man. Start with the basics. The basics is elevation. That's an example of elevation right there. The basics of what I teach is elevation, period. Because you're going to stop losing. At 100% self-taught. That's the thing that if I allowed it to, I would be very aggravated by questions that people ask me, because I never had a mentor. I never had anybody that was in position to give me something that works effectively. So in other words, there was nobody that was at a level that could teach me. And forget about being mentored. That shit was irrelevant. Like, mentored by who? So here I go. All of the stuff that I didn't have, I provide. Think about this. Everything I didn't have, I'm giving to you. You understand what I'm saying? From mentorship to the framework for what we're doing, to constant reinforcement through all of the different mediums that are available. Like, just think about what you have access to just being connected to me. There's people right now not even in the training that's looking at the live stream, the free YouTube live streams or Instagram videos or Facebook lives that have elevated as a result of just looking at that. This is what I'm saying about having the mentorship. There are people that are being mentored as a result of me sharing all of this knowledge, who don't even train. So what I'm saying is that if you allow yourself to be in position to be elevated within your mindset, whatever you're doing will start to actually work more. Because you realize that it's your mindset that was causing it not to work in the first place. You'll hear people from every now and then, you'll hear people come on, they be like, listen, man, I trade dailies. I trade the 1 hours on NADEX. And just listening to Mark, I started winning. Huh? Not even in the training. How did that happen? You see what I'm saying? They're not in the training with us. And you never hear me on here trying to get somebody to get into the training. Because I'm not here to convince you to do anything. All I'm doing is sharing what I know, which is the reason why what I know continues to increase and to elevate. It's like people be asking me like, damn, how do you keep elevating? Because I keep giving it away. It's never going to stop. You can't you can't stop karma. My karma is remarkable. That's why my skill level is crazy. So that to answer your question, that's what it is. Oh, that's funny. He said, Jazz said, you're mentoring me now, but I'm joining because of Ramon. Oh, shit. That's funny. But guess what? Ramon is me. Ooh, that's deep. That's a whole nother level. Listen to what I just said. Ramon is me. Oh shit. Hey man, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, definitely. Ramon opened the door. Look what happened. I must say though, wasn't Ramon on training the other night dropping crazy nuggets? That was like a few nights ago, right? He dropped like 3 in a row. I don't know what he doing, but whatever he doing is working. His shit be crazy. His nuggets be like, damn, who said? Wait, let me see who that is. Between him and Rich. And that's another thing too. It could be anybody. Like the nuggets be coming from everywhere though. Like I'm pointing out a couple of people now that you know have been doing it as of late, but the nuggets be flying from all over the group. And that's what I appreciate the most, because I know that means that this is penetrating you. It's just like I say all the time, you can't be around this and fail. It's impossible. All you gotta do is stay close to the fire. You stay close to the fire, you're gonna remain warm. You don't even know what cold is. Because you stay close to the fire. You always warm. That's a fact. We all in the same with different levels of skill. Exactly. Rich said that's the first sign of elevation, the Virgo sideshow. Yep. Definitely all about experience. Yep. Chris said I went from working 60 hours a week doing sales for 60,000 last year to trading full time and on pace to make 6 figures this year, working maybe 10 hours a week. No trading experience prior to TA. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And you can hear, like, you see he laid a plan out for himself, obviously. And this is what I mean. Like, it's just like how some people that I have conversations with, you know, they'll be asking me about quitting their job and leaving their job and all of that. And I'm like, well, whatever job that you at now, don't think about training in the future. Think about training now while you on the job. You want to position yourself while you have the job. So when you leave that job, you leave the job voluntarily and with joy, with love, peace, and happiness. Because you know what you're leaving behind and what you're moving forward into. That's how you want to position yourself. You always want to position yourself. You never want to do anything from a place of desperation. There's people that they'll lose their job first. And then they'll be like, yeah, Mark, I was watching you for 2.5 years, man. And, I recently lost my job. You've been watching me for 2.5 years and now you hitting me up? Like, I'm just saying, like, don't wait for that. Don't wait for shit to happen to hit me up after. Like, help me. You comfortable and you cozy on your job now, or if you disgruntled or you don't like your job, now's the time. While you on the job, now, do it now. Well, I don't have the time to do it though. I work too many hours. There's 24 hours in a day. You don't work 24 hours a day. You better figure out how to manage your time and give value to some of that time by learning this skill and putting yourself in position. You better start thinking like that. Come on, man. Let me get up out of here. Gotta go pick up my daughter. Yo, I will see y'all on training, everybody else. I will see y'all mañana. Y'all have a great evening. Love, peace, and soul. Exactly. Shahara said better turn on training while you work. Like those of us who were still working. Mic drop.